Everyone, we all know that switching ITSM systems is an absolute pain. And in most of these videos that I have on my channel, I talk about that from the perspective of companies who are switching from one ITSM system to another, or in the case of Cherwell, they have no choice but to move to another ITSM system. In this video, I want to talk specifically to the vendors and about the story that most companies go through when they have to onboard onto a new system. Um, it's it's a pain. It's complicated. Not just do you have to re-implement all of your processes and redefine all of your UI and workflows and everything that needs to be configured in the new system. You have to think about what has to happen with your data. And I want to ask all of the vendors out there to think really deeply about the story that they tell their prospects about the data. What happens to it? Do you move it from the old system to the new system? Do you have a seamless way to onboard data from specific systems, from all systems? What is your process for that? Is it part of your, onboarding professional services package? Because this is something that Cortex and the team here at Synapse Software have been doing for, well, at least the last year and a half, but we've been thinking about it for a long time. This has always been a thing that has happened whenever we've been dealing with moving ITSM systems. And Cortex helps this in two ways that I think are really important. One is the archiving, being able to see the historical data. And the second is the migration piece. And I want to dive a little bit deeper into both of those use cases in the rest of this video, because I think there are some nuances with that. There are some things that really would make the difference between a really good experience onboarding to a new system and a really bad experience onboarding to a new system. And vendors out there, if you're interested in being a part of the story, if you're interested in having Cortex be able to integrate with your system in both of those ways, we would love to work with you. We already have support for several systems, in some cases for both of those use cases, in some cases just for one of those use cases. Obviously, the archiving solution, being able to embed some of the views within Cortex in your particular solution, is a lot easier to do. It's as simple as an iframe. If you want to support some sort of pass-through authentication, we can do that as well. There are some that we already support, some that we're in the process of supporting. But at the very least, you can always have users authenticate to Cortex, and then once they're authenticated to Cortex, they can see the embedded view, um, without additional authentication. On the other side, with the migration, what we do is basically map custom fields from the archive system into custom or out of the box field. Well, I guess out of the box fields on both sides, but custom fields are where it starts to get complex. We have a way to map those custom fields from the original system to the new system, but we need some help from especially the system that we're going to. As long as you have an API, we can integrate with your platform. Ideally, your platform has a way to uh, discover those fields. Ideally, both built-in and custom fields. But if it's just custom fields and the built-in fields are well known, well established, we can build that into our integration. That's not an issue. And at that point, our interface provides a way to map fields from the archive system to the new system with some translation layer. So if it's a one-to-one mapping, like we're copying a description into a description into a new description field, that's fine. Now, categories are something where it might be a little more complicated. You might be changing or a company onboarding onto your solution might be changing the categories that they use or the way they categorize, the structure of the categories. Maybe you're going from a three-tier service catalog to a two-tier service catalog. Maybe you're going from uh, a incident and service request combined business object like Cherwell had to service requests have a service catalog and incidents are just incidents and either have a completely different way of categorizing them or they don't get categorized at all. They are handled some other way. So there's some sort of mapping and configuration that needs to go on. Cortex has support for that built into the migration process. Cortex also supports attachments, so that doesn't need to be uh, dealt with separately, but we do need API support in order to upload attachments. So as long as you have an API, we can do the rest. We can do the heavy lifting to get integrated with your platform. Really, all we need from you is a system. We need a system to be able to test against and API documentation, which you probably already have. But basically, we don't want to be building an integration against an API doc and hope that it works. We want to be able to tell our customers and yours, your brand new customers, we want to be able to tell all of them that our solution works with their new platform. And we know it works because we've tried it, we've tested it, we continue to test it. So realistically, that's all we need is documentation and an instance. We're happy to run it ourselves on our own hardware if you have an on-premise solution or if you have, something that mimics an on-premise solution. Obviously, we don't need it to be a full-fledged instance. We just need enough of the system there to be able to send API requests to it. So really simple. And we'd love to work with any and all ITSM platforms. Doesn't matter how big, how small you are. If you are actively engaged in selling your ITSM solution to customers who are moving from other ITSM solutions and vendors, what's in it for you? Well, you can tell the story that it is super easy to onboard to your system, especially if people are coming from one of the other systems that we support archiving from. Again, we are trying to support all types of systems, ideally on all sides. Some lend themselves more to the archive solution, like Cherwell is going away. We're only going to support that for archival. We're not going to support that as a migration target or destination. Um, but many other systems we're going to support potentially as a migration destination first, and then potentially the archival side. And we kind of have support matrices for both of those sides independently of each other. But we'd really love to work for you. And if you're a vendor and want to give us access to be able to build our integration to your platform, let me know. My contact information is down in the video description. You can also leave a comment, but the best way to get in touch with me is send me an email, book time on my calendar. Links to all that stuff is down in the video description. And let's make it super easy for your brand new customers to move all of their data uh, into your system, or at least make it feel like it is part of their brand new system and make that experience an absolutely phenomenal one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.